So, hi guys. I'm Maria Bernadette Salas, and I'm going to show to you how to argue someone politely. So, arguing someone's idea or thought is a very challenging thing. Why challenging? Because it is challenging because you are going to express an argument, and you need to try not to offend that person. And it at the same time, it's a very it's important to express your honest opinion or thought in arguing. So I'm gonna give you tips or information about how to argue someone politely. First tip is, or first information I'm going to give to you is, acknowledge the other person's opinion before you argue it. So you need to acknowledge their opinion and before you are going to argue it. Next tip or next information is, make sure to make it clear that you understand what the other person is saying and that it is a valid argument before you argue. So before you argue someone's opinion, you need to at least make sure that you listen to all of what he or she is saying, because you need to know his or her point before you argue it. And when you argue someone without even listening to his or her point, then you might cause into a big trouble. So make sure that you listen to what the other person is saying and to make it clear that you understand and you know what he or she is saying before you argue it. And there's also a positive thing, because it shows that you are listening to the other person, and it can make your argument strong. So as what I've said, you can't make your you might cause trouble if you were arguing to someone without even listening to what they are saying. And if you want to argue to other person's opinion, you have to make sure that you listen, you know, and you understand to what is her or his reason of his opinion. That's right. So there are some examples of phrases you can use to argue someone. First is, I see what you are saying, but. Second is, I understand where you're coming from, but. So third, that's a valid reason, but that's a valid point, but. So as we re, as we as we there in the three sentence have but at the end, because you are going to argue the other person's opinion. Next tip is, use an apology to introduce your argument, because it shows respect to the other person and to his or her opinion, and it can soften the impact of your argument. Of course, you are going to argue someone and you are going to rebut another opinion to make it more better. So you need to say sorry for interrupting his or her opinion. It's an important thing because it shows respect. So you need to say, you need to at least say an apology word, because you are going to argue, or you're going to change the idea or opinion of someone. An example phrase is that, I'm sorry, but I disagree with you about this. So it is an example of it's an example of apologizing because you're going to introduce your argument. So next is, another tip is that you should not say that the other person's opinion is wrong. because even if it's wrong or not, it's very hurtful to hear that you are wrong. So you need to at least make it more, at least to add some sugar coat. So instead, add a reason why another idea may be better. So in this clip, you are going to explain why your idea is much better with the other person's idea. You are going to explain your argument or your opinion. The next step is to be unsure about agreeing. So we all know that we have different opinions, so there are times that we argue or we fight from different frame of reference. So we should not argue like we want to we want that our opinion to be accepted directly by the other person. So of course we have different frame of reference, different opinions, perceptions. So you shouldn't pretend to be unsure about agreeing, because you cannot expect that the other person might accept your argument. So, and the last part, to end your argument, you should this is the way how to end an argument where where you neither know neither person will ever agree. So this is agree to disagree. So if you don't know if whom of you will be or whom of you two will have the better idea, you just have to end an argument with agree to disagree. So that's all, and I hope you learned something about how to argue someone politely.